started. First of all, we would like to thank you all for coming out in this inclement weather. We really and truly appreciate you all coming out. We're going to go ahead and get started. First of all, we would like to thank you so very much for your support throughout the school year, with your children, with your child. We really appreciate your support. You have 6th and 7th graders. We look forward to you being part of the Booster Club on next year and making Wooddale Middle School Athletic Department a success. At this time, we're going to have Kayla Stevens, which is an athlete here. She's going to give you the purpose.
Hello, my name is Kayla Stevens, and I will be stating the purpose for tonight's event. The purpose of Wooddale Middle's 2012-2013 Athletic Banquet is to recognize the achievements of Wooddale Middle's great athletes. These athletes have worked hard, and tonight we are here to congratulate them.
Thank you, Kayla. Before we go ahead and have dinner, we have an inspirational speaker. At this time, Mr. Pogue is going to introduce the inspirational speaker, and we'll go from there.
Thank you, Coach, for that introduction. Hey, I was asked by Coach Price Farmer to speak to inspire our young men and young women to continue their efforts in sports and academics, being an academic athlete. And what better way for me to do it than to say, you know, I've been around this business for a minute. That's one thing. I've been here for about 21 years or so. And I've seen, you know, I've never won a state championship. I've been real close, like 3 times in my life so far. And I may never have brought home that big trophy, you know, the big ball and all of that. But what I've done is I have guys, I got real live trophies walking around, guys that have played for me, that have been inspired by me, they've gone on to be great things, from police officers to doctors. I even have a lawyer. And the young man that I'm speaking of right now, that's going to speak to you all, guys and young ladies, is a young guy that played football for me at Mitchell Road when I first started in this endeavor of being a football coach. He was my quarterback. He was one of those guys that set the tone of what kind of guy I was looking for. He was also one of the guys that I admired because he took up on the task of something no one could do, which was to kick a field goal. And being that he kicked a field goal, this young man here has still to this day a TWSAA record, the longest field goal by a kid, or something, I guess that's what you say, a kid, by a guy here in this area, in the West Tennessee region. Not a white guy from Cordova, not a white guy from Germantown, Hispanic kid, nowhere. We had a kid right there in the heart of, what's that, Walker Home. That's what it's called, Walker Home. And this guy kicked like a 52, about a 52? 51, he gonna say 51, you know, right. He can't beat me kicking, still. So he kicked the field goal and he's done a great job. He went on to do aviation. He had an intern with aviation department, FAA, and he's done a lot of things. He's graduated from Lane College. He pledged the fraternity, you know, which is Omega Psi Phi Fraternity Incorporated, founded in 1911. He was inspired by me that way as well. But he's a good guy. Without any further delay, I want to introduce to you one of my players and one of my true friends. Come through for me anytime I need him. So welcome, Patrick Max.
Good evening. Once again, my name is Patrick Mass, and I no longer work for the FAA. I actually work in Memphis City Schools. I actually stopped, just to give you a little brief about myself. I stopped working for the FAA because it wasn't doing me any justice. I was young at the time when I started, and I had a whole lot of energy that I wanted to give back to what was given to me. So I chose to come into Memphis City Schools and do some of the same things that Coach Poe, you know, gave me. I wanted just to give back. So since '04, I've been working in the school, just giving back all I can, so I can't give back anymore. I love children. I love working with them because somebody gave me the same aspirations when I was coming through. And I think that means more than anything, you know. Money don't buy you happiness. But if somebody caring about you can make a world of difference in your life. And I had plenty, you know, young men like Coach Polk to believe in me and love me. And I think that's what took me over into my career and helped me through school. Because I knew I had somebody, you know, looking out for me and help motivate me to get to where I need to be. And I just want to say thank you, Coach Polk. Today, I just want to talk about student athletes. It's one important thing because I came out of school with a 4.9 GPA, number 6 in my class. And to you athletes, that's more important than playing a sport. Because besides getting athletic scholarship, you got to have brains to be able to compete on the next level. And I'm not talking about athletic, I'm talking about academic. That's the most important thing that you need to take heed from this, I guess, speech that I'm giving. Because a lot of coaches really don't care about the athlete. Well, let me take that back, I'm sorry. They don't really care about the student athlete. Because you play for a coach 4 years and you don't have a decent GPA, that's not a good coach. A lot of coaches tell you when you meet them, well, I've been to these many state championships. I've won these many state championships. But how many coaches tell you success stories? How many kids have finished college that he have coached? Or how many have finished high school with a decent GPA and have an ACT score to go on to college? Those are success stories. Not that you made it to the NBA or to the NFL or whatever pro sport you think you might make it in. Academics is the key. And I promise you, if you keep that in mind and keep Lord first, everything will fall in place for you. It did for myself. You know, I was a good athlete. You know, I was among the best. But God has something in store for everyone. And it might not be sports. It might be helping young people behind yourself to make it to where you wanted to go, but God has something else in store for you. And just to conclude my story, I just want to say thank you to the parents, because without you, your kid won't be anything. The support that you give your kids is a lot. You know, some of y'all might be like my parents was, rain, sleet, or snow, they there. And that makes all the difference for your child that you support. Young ladies and young men, keep your head up, keep academics first, and work hard in your athletics, and I promise you, you'll be successful. Thank you.
Good job, young fella. Yes, one thing I want to tell you all about this young guy also. He played against me. I coached him, and then he played against me. Against the team, Manassas High School, the school that I was at. Oh, he didn't play against some other guys. They were younger than him. And they had a chance to see me do the same thing at Manassas that I did at Mitchell Road. That year, they had a running back, a kid by the name, and this is going off of what he was saying, a kid by the name of Davenport. That's his name, Davenport. He was a little bitty kid, about that tall. Guy ran for 2,600 yards in one single season. 2,600 yards in one single season. You know what his grade point average was? A 1.6. Probably lower than that, but it was a 1.6 when I saw it. He put approximately 0 kids into college that year. I put 12. And that's the kind of thing that Pat is talking about, Mr. Mass is talking about. We got to get away from trying to be anything other than coachable athletes. And that's where we want to be. And I appreciate you saying that for me, Pat, and I do appreciate that, man. You got me real humble right now. That's good. Coach, you want me to pull the next for you, man?
All right, let's give Mr. Pat and Coach Bowling in. Throughout the season, I have so many parents that are upset with me because of me telling your child that you can't actually play. Well, Memphis City School, and we're merging, the GPA is not going to stay at 2.2 or 2.5, it's going to go higher. So with your help and our help, we need to make sure that our student athletes really stay focused in the classroom. Like Patty Poe said, academics come first. If you don't have your academics, you don't have anything at all. Before we start dinner, I know that we sent home a form that one parent will actually accompany the student. So if you have more than one parent or guest with you all, I need to meet you in the very back before we actually start dinner, because this is actually going to our athletic fund. So at this time, we're going to listen to a little soft music, and Miss Kelly is going to tell us when it's time for dinner.